All right, let's talk about the third-party ads. Now, these are the ads that Google sells to somebody like Nike or Ford or a big advertiser, and then they pay money to Google, and then Google takes those video ads or picture ads and inserts into your content. For example, pre-roll ads that you're very familiar with on YouTube, or any type of ads that go on the blog or websites and so forth. We've all seen them. Most of the time, they're a little annoying because they're kind of in your face, but nevertheless, it works, so somebody is making money, and somebody is usually Google, and then whichever content provider and creator that inserts those ads into their content. Now, a lot of times you have to be qualified. For example, on YouTube, you have to have certain number of views and subscribers, and there's a combination that qualifies you to actually be able to insert those ads. But even when you do have a chance to insert them right away, you usually don't make that much money. As a matter of fact, it kind of takes away the attention from your very young channel's content. And this is really what I wanted to mention here, and I will probably mention it quite a few more times. Don't forget, the attention span of your audience that they're willing to give you to sell them something is very tiny. So if you have a pre-roll ad in your YouTube video, you really used up a lot of credits there as far as selling them something else later in your video. Same thing on your website or in your blog. If you blaster a big banner on top of your even logo in top of your header, and people have to pay attention to that, at that point they're like, all right, there's better be something really good underneath there. And if you continue throwing more ads and trying to sell something else, they may not like it, not only in terms of not buying it, just leaving your website altogether. So you're running a risk. Now, of course, like I mentioned, the revenues are being shared with the content provider. A lot of times it's 70-30, though it depends on many different aspects. And it depends on how popular the content is. So for example, I do electric car news, and right now in the last couple of months, Audi is really pushing their electric cars online. They're willing to pay a lot. So every time I produce a video with Audi in the title that is obviously about electric cars, my revenues for that video goes double or triple of what I normally make with the same amount of views. So content kind of matters. Sometimes people chase those, sometimes people don't. In my case, I really cannot chase the content like that because it's news, and news is news. But some people will figure it out and say, okay, I'll make more content because some advertiser is willing to pay more for the ads. Again, these could be pre-roll ads and banner ads and so forth. Now, the reason this falls into category of a passive type of way of making money on social media is because obviously you don't have to do anything except for tell Google, okay, have at it. Right? You did not pursue the advertisers. You did not create a contract with them, negotiate a deal, chase the payment. It's a lot that goes into selling advertisement. And this is why you're collecting only a certain percentage. It is very easy for you to insert it into your content. And obviously, you don't make as much money on it as you would if you were to get it yourself. Again, this of course creates a dilemma a lot of times for you, but this is a good dilemma. This is what I want you to decide for yourself. How much money and time do you want to spend on chasing sponsors? And anybody who's willing to pay for advertising on your channel, on your social media platform, on your blog, versus saying, I'd rather go and try to get more subscribers, more followers, but I'm willing to accept much less money because I don't want to deal with all of this kind of a salesmanship or marketing and stuff like that. In the beginning, that might not be a bad strategy because you're trying to grow your social media following, but very soon, if you are not monetizing it with your own sponsors or with your own products and so forth, and we'll talk about that as well, you're probably losing a lot of money to essentially, I don't want to say laziness, but passiveness. There's a lot of money to be had, and you're letting someone else collect it on your behalf and give you a very small percentage of it. Again, this is a business decision, and it could be a temporary decision, especially if you decide to go with a banner ads or pre-roll ads. A lot of YouTubers, for example, make their money mainly on the pre-roll ads because nobody else wants to give them money, and so that is actually not a bad way to maybe pay for your next camera or for some of the hosting fees. But when the stakes are getting kind of high, this is where you definitely want to rethink that strategy. So not a bad strategy in the beginning when your attention may go somewhere else, like growing your channel, but in the future, definitely something to rethink, or at least split your time and your content between featuring these ads and pre-roll ads and your own advertisers.